This is Mike Lewandowski coming to you today with another video. Today's featured early church saint is Saint Lucy. And information about Lucy comes to us today from www.newadvent.org, that's the Catholic Encyclopedia, from family-prayer.org website, and from St. Lucy's Church, their website, which is located in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Lucy was born around the year 283 to an affluent family in Syracuse, Sicily. At a young age, her father passed away, and this did not hinder Lucy's growth or love of her faith. In fact, she was, from a young age, extremely devoted to Christ, and so much so that she consecrated her virginity to him. And in her desire to love Christ all the more, she sought to give away most of her wealth to the poor. Well, her mother was not as devout as her daughter. And her mother's name was Eutychia, and she was not keen on that idea. So Lucy couldn't go forward with her plans to help the poor. However, Eutychia began to suffer from a hemorrhage, and she suffered with this ailment for several years. She finally decided that she would seek a cure at the shrine of Saint Agatha in Catania, Sicily. The shrine was very close from where they lived, and Agatha was martyred some 50 years before, and there was miraculous healings being reported from that shrine. So Lucy's mother traveled to the shrine, and miraculously she was cured of her hemorrhage. She came back, and this paved the way for Lucy to give away most of her wealth to the poor. Now, Lucy was actually at this time betrothed to a man against her will. And this man was so angered that she was giving away her wealth that he reported her to the governor of Sicily. He reported that she was indeed a Christian. Now, this was in the year 303, and this is when the Emperor Diocletian waged a terrible persecution against the church. So, when it was discovered that Lucy was indeed a Christian, she was ordered by her government that she was to be placed in a house of prostitution. And soldiers were sent to her home in order to retrieve her. However, she prayed to God to give her strength. She did not want to be cast into that life. And miraculously, when the soldiers came, they could not move her. They could not physically remove her from her home. However, their hatred of Lucy, their hatred of Christians, continued and persisted, and they decided to try to burn Lucy alive. But God was with her as well, and that plan failed. Now, there is one story that said that they actually ripped out her eyeballs. And I bring this story up because many times when Lucy is depicted in art, she will actually be holding her eyeballs, sometimes even on a platter. And the story goes, though, that she was miraculously healed of this. And that is why she's the patron saint of the blind and those with eye ailments. So we don't know if that's 100% true, but we do know that she was then killed by the sword. She was martyred. And that after her witness, after her death, her fame just spread. And people started to talk about Lucy's story. Well, when Pope St. Gregory the Great became Pope in the late 6th century, he actually inserted Lucy's name into the Mass. And her name is in the Mass down to this very day. When the priest prays the first Eucharistic prayer, that is the prayer that gives a litany of a lot of the early church saints, when he reads the female saints, he'll say Felicity, Perpetua, Agatha, Lucy. So she's still invoked down to our very day. Lucy is also the patron saint of Syracuse, and her remains are believed to be in a basilica in Syracuse, Sicily, that bears her name. And every year the church celebrates her feast day on December 13th. Let us ask Lucy to intercede for us, to pray for us, especially if we suffer from any sort of ailments of the eye. And let us ask her to help us to always be strong witnesses in our faith. Saint Lucy, pray for us. And thank you for listening to this video, and please look forward to more.